Hi there, my name is Terry Smith. I'm the owner of Adorable Decor, where we make and sell wreaths and other types of home decor. And I also work toward teaching others to make their own designs through my wreath making group. And today we're going to be doing a very detailed tutorial that kind of mimics what we do in our wreath making group, so that you could get a taste of my teaching style. And right now my group is open for enrollment. And so I thought, well, why don't we go ahead and pretend like we're in the group and you guys can get an idea of how it is. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started because it'll probably be a little bit more lengthy because I'm going to be more detailed than what I normally am on my Facebook Lives. And I probably won't be looking at a lot of comments until later because I don't want, I want it to be like the real thing. And sometimes I look at comments and I get down the rabbit hole, or rabbit trail. But anyway, we're going to be making a fall grapevine wreath. And I did post a supply list to my email list. If you are interested in getting a full supply list for this design we're going to be making tonight, just put me a message in the comments, okay? Last time I posted the link in the comments and I got in trouble with Facebook and they put me in jail for a few days, so I don't want to do that again, okay? Hey Lynette, how are you? There's Sharon. But yeah, and I sent that email and I said it's a preliminary supply list because I usually, when I'm doing a tutorial or even a Facebook Live for you guys, I'm designing on the fly. I haven't practiced this before, and that way if I run into a hiccup, then you can hear my thought process on how I work around it, okay? Even though, I posted that supply list this morning and already I've kind of changed my mind on a few things, so I will finalize the supply list after we get done tonight, and then I will post a new one. So there's that. So, hey Cindy, hey Susan, how are you guys tonight? So, like I said, we're going to be making a fall grapevine wreath. Whoops, if I don't fall down. And this is a 18-inch grapevine wreath, and I have not even gone in and got to clean it up yet. We probably won't need to a lot, just a little bit down here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a wreath holder on it. For the wreath hanger, I like to use rustic wire. It's a real thick gauged, I think it's like a 16 or 18 gauge wire, and it's wrapped in this brown jute-like material. You can get it in different colors though. I get this color for my evergreen wreaths, and it also comes in like a natural color. But I never found it where you didn't have to order those two other colors online. Hobby Lobby calls this grapevine wire, in case you're looking for it there. Okay, and I'm going to measure off about 16 inches. That's usually a little bit more than what I'm going to need. Clip that off. But I always recommend putting a wreath hanger on your wreaths because a lot of times the customer doesn't know which way is up, and then two, you don't want the customer to get this at their home and then think, well, how do I even put this on my door? So I always like to put a wreath hanger on my wreaths, okay? I just think it makes it more professional. So what I do, I've already looked at this wreath and I've kind of turned it around, I do this kind of thing, and it will this is going to sound silly, but it's going to talk to me and tell me the way it wants to hang, okay? So I just go around like this, and like right here, to me, even though it's a round grapevine wreath, it looks wider than it is tall, okay? And I look to see, if I'm going to be putting stems in here, this side is a lot looser than this side. This is a little bit more tightly wound. So I'm thinking I want to put this side over on the place where I'm not going to be putting any kind of florals, because if it's too loose, I'm not going to be able to get a good grasp with my stems. The stems are not going to have a lot of contact with those grapevines, okay? So I kind of like this way to hang it. It is tight enough where I shouldn't have to place a whole lot of picks on this to make my stem stay. So what I do, I just take my finger right off of there, and this, I'm going to be doing this backwards, so it might be a little bit awkward for me. But I just take my needle nose pliers up through the back here and run it right up toward the top. And notice that there's more. This is going to be the front of the wreath right here, okay? And notice that I've got my hanger more toward the back than the front, okay? I do that because if I put that hanger up here toward the front of the grapevine, then it's going to not hang right, okay? So you want it closest to the door, but yet you want enough grapevine there that you know, your hanger is going to be secure, okay? So I just pull that down, come over on the other side, run that up again, pull it down, okay? All right, and then there's a couple of ways. You can take these and you can twist it around up here on both sides and be done. I like to take it and twist it down here. Hope you guys can see that. I'll get it out of the way so you can see it a little better. I'm twisting it. All right, and then I take it and I turn it up into the wreath. Okay, just like that. And that way there's nothing rough back here that's going to mess up the client's door, okay, if I tuck that to the inside. And if you want to just wrap it around either side here, that's fine too, okay? All right, so now we're just going to clean up just a little bit of this wreath, just get a few of the stray pieces off. We've got a big leaf there. Get a few of these over here. I'm not going to do a whole lot of cleaning over on this side over here because we're going to put most of our design here, okay? All right, and I've already gone through and made sure there weren't a whole lot of leaves in there. You don't want to leave a bunch of them there because what can happen if you've got a big bunch of leaves, you put your stems in there with glue on it, those leaves start disintegrating and then your piece can fail, okay? So you don't want to leave a whole lot. It doesn't have to be pristine though, okay? All right, now I always talk to everybody in my group about, you know, when you're thinking about creating your design, you need to have one focal point and then build your design out from there, okay? That's one of the most common questions I get asked. Where do I even start? I don't know where to start. Well, find something you like. For my particular design, I found this spray here, and that's what I built my design out of. But I have before, I've found a ribbon that I liked, and I just picked my colors off from there. You know, if I were building this off of this ribbon, I would be looking for things that are kind of a mossy green, a rust color, and it has just a little bit of burgundy running through it. You probably can't appreciate that on camera. And then it also has a cream color, okay? But just pick one item, whether it be a spray, a flower, a ribbon, a sign, a character. Start there and then build outward from there, okay? But like I said, I found this spray at a local craft shop. It is a direct export spray. The craft shop I went to, there's only 2 branches, so you probably won't be able to be close to one. It's called Jeffrey Allen's, just in case. I think they only got one store here, and then I think they got another one over in Illinois. But anyway, if you find a supplier that deals with direct export products, which a lot of them do, you might be able to find this spray, okay? But I just thought it was really, I mean, the goodies here, the berries, the pumpkin, the gourd, although they're foam, they don't look like fakey foam. Sometimes you can run into that kind of trouble. I was looking to see if I had another one that I could compare to that show you the difference, but sometimes you can get these pumpkins and they look pretty fake. But these look pretty realistic. The colors are very rich and warm, and even though the colors are kind of muted, they're kind of a warm color, if that makes sense to you. I just look at it and I think about sitting by the fire in the fall, drinking a cup of pumpkin spice, right? So anyway, so this was the inspiration. So from there, I started thinking, I wanted to put a bow on there, so I need to find some ribbon that might have these colors, okay? All right, so I just went to my stash, and I'm thinking this looks pretty rustic, so I'm thinking burlap, right? This leaf right here made me think of burlap, and so I found this 4-inch burlap that we're going to build our bow out of. And then I look at the other colors. We've got the kind of a rust color. We've got the cream. We've got a deep mustard. We also have some burgundy. So I found this ribbon. It has all the same colors, okay? And I was just going to put 2 ribbons together, but I wanted, with all this pattern going on, I thought if I put this on top of this 4-inch bow or 4-inch ribbon, that the patterns might start to compete just a little bit. So I found a solid, and originally I was thinking I would go with the rust, which that would be fine, okay? But I thought I would go with the rust, but I changed my mind. I think I'm going to be using the moss, or you could have used both, okay? But that's where I started with my ribbon, and then I just went and started thinking about other kinds of goodies I could put with this. I've got some florals, some sunflowers, and again, I'm thinking rustic, and I found these sunflowers that I think are going to be gorgeous with it. It really plays off of the cream in the berries and the cream in the pumpkin. And even if you look close at those sunflowers, they've got a mustardy color toward the edge, and then of course the brown that will tie in with some of the other, or like the stem of this and that leaf. All right, and then I grabbed some peonies. I'm not sure we're going to use those. I did put them on the supply list, but I don't know that we're going to use those because, and this was right before I went live, you guys. This is how my mind works, okay? All right, so I'm looking through, and I'm actually just over by my computer, and I always keep some spare goodies off to the side when I'm doing a live. And I saw this pumpkin. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to go moss green. I don't know that we need the orange peonies or the rust peonies, and I love this. I love these guys paired together, okay? All right, and then I also have a couple more. I've got some of these velvet ones. I don't know if we'll use those or not. And then I have a surprise that we may or may not use too. Once I decided this was the route we were going to go, I found some other goodies, and I'm not going to tell you yet until we decide if we're going to make them or use them, okay? Uh-oh. Is anybody else having trouble with the video glitching? I hope not. My camera might be getting tired. We've been using it a lot, but I'm just joking. But okay, so what my plan is, oh, and I didn't tell you, I did go ahead and make the bow just for the sake of time. I've got lots of bow videos on my Facebook page and on my blog and YouTube channel, so I didn't want to go through that today. We will, I mean, of course we do it every now and then. I do that in the group. But a lot of them have already seen a lot of bow teaching, okay, and we do it all the time. But anyway, I went ahead, I made just one loop out of each one of these ribbons. I've got the burlap in the back. I have this plaid up front, and then like I said, I decided to go with the moss green here in the front. I'm kind of wanting to put it right here where I can still have some tails trailing down. I don't want to put it down here, I don't think. I'm thinking maybe here, and then have our design like in a half moon shape, okay? All right, and but the first thing I want to do, I want to put some greenery on here just to green the wreath, kind of give us a base. And if you're in my group, you know about this grass right here. This is a vanilla grass, and it's just a short grass. It's plastic, but it's very realistic looking, has a lot of movement to it. It is just a little bit brown on the edges there, if you can see that. But I love this, and I know all my group members love it too, don't you guys? Hey, Rosemary. Hey, Vince, how are you? And there's Bonnie. Uh-oh, I hope the videos, is everybody else having trouble with the video? Yes, the grass, yes. All right, I'm gonna start with that. Sometimes if your video is freezing, I mean, mine is doing okay, and even on my phone, which my phone's really been acting up, but my phone's doing okay, so it may be your connection. You might want to go out and come back, and sometimes that'll resolve that. All right, so I'm just clipping all these off. And I'm going to pair them up or I'm going to put them in pairs, kind of like this. And we're just going to just very lightly green the wreath. Now, before I do that, I'm going to have to pick these. Even though this green or this grapevine is wound decently, it's still not going to be enough to get a good hold on these picks or these stems. So I'm going to put a steel pick on it. Not freezing for you, Teresa. Good. And Rhonda's okay. Charlotte's okay. Okay, great. Thank you guys for letting me know. Yeah, so who was it that... Okay, Ellen, you may want to go out and come back in because it looks like everybody else is doing pretty good. And like I said, it's a miracle that my phone's doing okay. So, I mean, it's been giving me fits. And like I said, I'm just putting steel picks on these. I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a second. We use picks whenever we need to either shore up or thicken a stem, or sometimes we use it if we just need length. Or sometimes, you know, some of your pieces might not come with any way to attach it to your wreath, and you can use a pick, okay? But this is what a pick the steel pick looks like. If you do a lot of florals, this guy's a lifesaver. Because otherwise I would have had to take a wooden pick, like a wooden floral pick. I would have had to attach this and then wrap it with tape. And you can imagine if you're making a floral wreath with a lot of florals and greenery, it takes a while. But I would not invest in a steel pick machine unless you do make a lot of florals, because they are kind of pricey. Okay? All right, so let me look and see. Again, I'm going to put my bow about right here. So I'm going to start greening from here around. Now this is what you might hear me call this the transition zone. And what that means is from everything right here up, we need to go the same direction, okay? Everything here down, we need to go that direction, okay? The transition zone doesn't necessarily have to be a bow. It can be a pumpkin. It can be a big flower bunch here. It's just an area where you're going to be changing direction, which is opposed to, say, you're doing a wreath that has florals all the way around it. You're going to want to go the same direction. You're not going to want to change directions. You want to be, you know, continual. And I usually recommend that you put it clockwise, because subconsciously we want our eyes to go that way. If that makes sense to you. I was telling them today on YouTube, I have got this, I got a new batch of Gorilla Glue, and it is so stringy. I just feel like I've got cobwebs all over me. All right, so I put these two, let me zoom in here for you. So I'm going to put these two toward the inside. So I'm going to stagger up a little bit, and I'm going to put these next two on the outside, okay? And I probably need to, I should have cut both of the bushes at the same time. I didn't even think about that. All right, so this is toward the inside of the wreath. Now we're going to go to the outside. And notice that I'm putting the stem in parallel to the grapevine. I'm not taking it, I'm not sticking it just straight in, okay? It's parallel to the grapevine. All right, I'm going to save this as a single. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to trim off these. Like I said, I should have done all these at the same time. I'll clip these off real quick. And I always like to save a few of these. I don't want to put all of them in at one time. I want to have a few leftovers just in case I need to fill in some spots later. So we don't have to fill in the complete, you know, make the complete background right now. But this really, when you're greening your wreath, it does a couple of things. It will establish your perimeter. And I didn't get that one on there very good. It'll establish your perimeter and kind of give you a guide as to the size of your wreath, okay? All right, so this one, this is on the inside. Now we're going to go to the outside. We're going to go down just a little bit further, okay? All right, and I'll probably put the bulk of the wreath down here, the bulk of the goodies. So I'm going to put just a little bit more here. I'm going to stop right there for right now, okay? So let me do one more. Oh, I already did. All right, so inside, outside. So let's go the inside this one. Okay. All right, and look to see, you want to have, for your wreaths, you want to be sure you have what we call depth and dimension, okay? And what that means is, you'll notice, see how I've got those greens sticking out from the wreath? Okay, they're not just flat up against the wreath, okay? They're not just laying there flat. You want to have a little bit of movement outward. I'm going to guess that's probably at least 6 inches outward, and that's where you're going to get your value. It's really going to increase your value and take your wreaths to the next level doing movements like that, okay? All right, so let's go ahead now, and I think I'm going to go ahead and place my bow next. Sometimes I'll place my bow first, and then I'll put my greenery and all the rest of the goodies. Sometimes I will put everything else on and then add my bow. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever you prefer. The main thing is, though, you just want to see I've made sure I left a space there so I'm not cramping up my bow. Okay. All right. So, and I'm going to say these are about, well, let me measure them. These are about 5.5 inch loops, the largest ones on this burlap ribbon. These are probably about 4.5 inch loops, and then this one's probably about a 3.5 or 4 inch loop. Okay, I usually don't measure. If it's just me down here designing, I do not measure. Okay, so I just gotta eyeball it. All right, now I've got the pipe cleaners for my bow. I want to take the pipe cleaners through the grapevine. I don't want to wrap it around, because if I wrap it around and I tighten that down where my bow's not going anywhere, I might not be able to get any more stems in there, okay? I mean, I could, but it's going to be a problem. And then two, when I place it, I don't want to place it out here. That's going to draw my eye away from the beauty of the wreath, okay? I want to incorporate this to the inside of the wreath, so I'm going to be placing it out. I won't necessarily put it right to the middle, but I'm going to put it toward the middle, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and place this. And I myself, I like to angle my wreaths, or my bows, I mean, just to kind of, again, draw the eye to the inside and to the goodies there. All right, I'm just running that right through the grapevine. Hopefully. Sometimes you got to hold your tongue right. Okay. All right, and like I said, I want to keep that angled just a little bit. So tighten it up. Don't want a floppy bow. All right, and I typically will not go ahead and trim my tails until after I get done designing, because I want to have kind of a feel for the wreath before I do that. So I'm going to leave that there for right now. Okay? All right. Hey, Sandy. Oh, no. Somebody's under the weather. Goodness sakes. I hate that. We'll get well soon. I couldn't see who it was. All right. Now, the next thing we want to do, I'm going to place my sprays next. And let me go ahead and trim this off. And I always preach to my group, I mean, especially when you're first starting out and you may not be sure of what, you know, how to put things together. Sprays are your friend, okay? All right, sprays, floral bushes, you know, where they've got a mixture of, say, some greens, some florals, different kinds of florals. If you find it like this, you already know it goes together. So half the battle's done, right? I love to use sprays. I always doctor them up, and I dissect them a lot. Just because it looks like this to start with, it may not end up like that. But they're just really convenient. It's kind of like one-stop shopping, right? All right, now, one of the most important things that you can do when you're working with anything wreath making related, whether it be a floral bush, some greenery, and I didn't show you with that, but you always want to take and fluff this out. Give everything a little bit of a lift. Make sure all your leaves are turned right. Make it look more, not just one-dimensional, okay? All right, just like a Christmas tree, all right? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to trim off part of this stem. I may have to get my other cutters. Okay, all right, so I've got that one. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the other one. I pulled 3 of them. I don't know if we'll use the third one or not. But just in case, I always try to take extras. Kind of like, that was always a rule of thumb when I worked as a nurse and nurse practitioner. Like if we were going to start an IV, you never went with just one needle. It was bad luck. You only went with one needle, then you knew you were going to have trouble. Are you guys superstitious like that? Yeah, we had all kinds of superstitions at working the floor. All right, so we got that all positioned. Let's clip this off of the bottom. I'm just going to trim it off to probably about 5 or 6 inches, okay? All right, and I like to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and place this one on top. I like to go ahead and kind of shape it in the direction that we're going to put it. Remember, everything from the bow up, or the transition zone, is going to go upward, okay? And I'm just going to place this in here. I'm not going to do anything as far as securing it just yet. I want to just kind of eyeball it. And I want to be sure that I don't crowd my goodies. I don't want to, I don't know if anybody watched my YouTube today. I cut off the pumpkin because it seems like they always want to crowd everything real close. And we don't always have that much room without making a big space here. So right now I'm going to leave it like that though. My bow, we're going to have to probably put some goodies underneath that to make that stay in place. So, all right. So we got that up there, and then I'm going to place my other one on the bottom. Just make it a shape, kind of a C shape, like as the wreath goes, okay? And make sure you don't crowd it in there too deep, too much close to the bow. Okay. Oops. All right, I like that placement, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some zip ties and I'm going to secure these to the grapevine. You could glue them in. These stems are kind of thick, so I would be a little reluctant only to glue them in. We'll put a little dab of glue on top of it, but I wouldn't want to depend just on gluing, okay? And I usually put 2 of them at least, sometimes more. And I'm going to find a place. Now down here on the bottom, I'm securing it to this section right here. Right here. And you can see that if somebody wanted to pull that out, they could do that pretty easily. So up in the other section, I'm going to find a Y between something. Like say right where that pumpkin comes off, and I'm going to put my zip tie there. And that way, gravity's not going to pull it out. You know, a little kid pulling on it's not going to pull it out. And you'd be surprised. If you do craft shows, you know, people kind of manhandle some of your stuff sometimes. And you don't want somebody coming along and grabbing a hold of your wreath and it falling apart. All right, so let's just put this right here. Sometimes I've got to use my needle nose pliers to get that in the right position. Come on. It can be a little difficult getting your little fingers in there. All right. Now I'm going to double check this before I completely tighten it down. Actually, I'm going to push it down just a little bit. Okay. All right. I like that. So now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to tighten those down. I always tell people when you're pulling on these things, make sure you're pointing it away from your face. Because I have had those things come apart or come off there before and about knocked my teeth out. Okay. All right, so I clipped those 2 out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take those little ends of the zip tie, you know, they can be sharp. So I'm turning them so that they're going down into the wreath, okay? And now I'm going to get my moss. If you don't have moss, and I just use like Spanish moss that you find at Walmart. If you don't have moss, you can take a leaf, and I'm just going to cover up those zip ties. I'm just putting a little dab of glue, not with my glue gun. I'm using it out of my glue pan. And I'm just putting that right over the top of that zip tie. Because I sell my wreaths, so I don't want my customer to look in there and see it put together with zip ties. Okay? All right. Is everybody doing okay? Like I said, I wasn't going to look at comments too much tonight so that I can give you guys a feel of what it's like here. But I still want to talk to you. Does that make sense? I feel myself wanting to gravitate over there, but I'm not going to. All right, now let's go down the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put 2 zip ties on here. I'm trying to get that those tails out of my way. And Ellen, did the freezing stop for you when you went out and came back in? I hope so. All right, let me slide this up just a little bit. And again, I'm going to find a place with a Y here and put that zip tie. I have to grab my pliers. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to get that to feed through just exactly where you want it. Okay. All right, double check it. Looks good. Let's tighten it down. Clip those guys off. All right, and then I'm just going to put a couple of dabs of moss on there. Then we'll be ready to go on to some florals. I hear a lot of people are, you know, they get intimidated with florals or working with grapevine. The only way to get over that is to just do it. And like I said, this, you know, using these sprays like this is so simple, pretty straightforward. And, you know, my theory is, you don't like it, take it apart, right? You can always undo anything we do in wreath making, okay? All right, so that's about what we have so far. I'm going to rearrange these just a little bit. Actually, I want that down. All right, now let me see. I don't know if I want to add, I'm going to turn it toward me a second. I was debating on whether I want to add any more on around. Like I said, I'm designing on the fly, you guys. I'm thinking maybe part of this spray, maybe not the whole thing, but I kind of like these berries and such. I'm going to trim this in half. I told you I dissect them a lot. Just make them my own. But I feel like I want a little bit more over this way. All right, so don't forget to fluff. And since I've got this big bunch of berries coming down here, I'm going to bring this bunch upward, okay? Now this is a pretty lightweight spray now, and you know the stem's pretty small, so I'm going to be able to just dip this in some glue and place it that way. I probably will go ahead and put another zip tie down farther along, but I think it's going to be fine that way. Okay. And I probably will go ahead and take off this other gourd too. I don't think we need two of those, but I did want the berries. All right, now I'm going to get another zip tie and we'll attach that down there. just a little bit more security. I'm really big on mechanics and not having anything fail. And tighten this down. All right, and then we'll just put a little bit of moss on there. And this moss, it comes in different colors too. It comes in kind of a tannish color as well. You can use that for fall, but this has a lot of green in it anyway, so I don't see a problem with using this. Whoops, look, berry fell right off. It stuck to me. Okay. All right, so that's what we have so far. And you'll be fussing with your bow. Don't worry about it. You'll be fussing with that for a while. Okay? I'm just going to peek here and see if we have any questions. Hey, Sandy, Rosemary. And there's Betty, Kelly. Thank you guys all for being here tonight. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do, like I said, I was thinking about using these guys. And then I also had this moss pumpkin. What did I do with it? I showed it to you guys. Oh, here it is. It's right behind me. I'm thinking about putting this guy right here. I wasn't sure if we were going to use him yet, but I really think that's going to look nice. I like it. Let's go ahead. I'm going to get the price tag off. I should have done that before I stuck that down in there. And I'm just going to take my glue gun and squirt, since I already have it in a good place, I'm just going to take my glue gun and squirt some glue and let it run down. And then we'll need to put another way of it to be adhered also. I want him to kind of sit upward away from this. And I don't want him down flush with the grapevine. There we go. All right, now I'm going to take a skewer, just a wooden skewer. Actually, I'm going to get something else. I'm going to get that one was pretty flimsy, so I'm just going to use a wooden floral pick. It's about a 6-inch pick. Okay, I'm going to come back to the back of the wreath. I'm just going to run this right up straight through that. This is foam, so we won't have any problem puncturing it, okay? So if I do have a big leaf back here, let's see. Okay, and I'll turn this around and show you what I did. This leaf is kind of in the way. I didn't even know that was back there. But I just took that skewer, if you can see it, just took that skewer right up through the grapevine and pierced that pumpkin. And now it's in there very sturdy. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Okay. All right, I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. Fix our bow again, right? Okay. All right, I like this. I like it a lot. I do have another smaller moss pumpkin that I was thinking about maybe putting it up here. I told you the supply list changed completely that I gave you guys, but let me look at this. I'm just going to stick this in here. We may not even use the sunflowers. I don't know. Put that guy over there. I kind of like that. So we're going to do the same thing. This one's very lightweight and small, so I don't need to put another skewer in it, and it's already pretty sturdy in there. I'm just going to put a dab of glue here. Let that run down with gravity. Just got to find the stem. Just make sure when you do this, you don't let it run down on your arm. That hot glue is unforgiving. Just going to hold that there a minute. Let me get a little bit of glue and stick over the top of it. Okay. All right, now, like I said, I thought about putting these sunflowers in there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm designing on the fly, and this is subject to change. I like these sunflowers. They're really pretty. I do like that. Oh, get some of those sprays and put them in my box, my bow. I know. I thought about that. I don't know if I can get any is the thing. I've not gotten any of my order that I had placed in January from direct export. It was supposed to have been here in May, and I still haven't gotten it. You know what I'm thinking about doing is getting rid of this. Maybe putting a sunflower there. I like that sunflower better than this pumpkin. Yeah, and I bought all they had at the store that I went to because I really did like it. Yeah, I like that. Like it. Okay, I'm just going to place these and then I'll decide. Oh, I wonder if I got enough. I may have to run back behind my magic wall and get a few more. Because I thought I was going to be using my pennies. But I'm not. All right, and when I place florals like this, I like to have them, like one of them facing one way and then kind of stagger it back and forth. Like this one will be looking more forward. This one's going to be looking upward. We need to put some more down here. I probably need one more. And I'm taking the leaves off. I don't feel like we need the leaves. Got plenty of greenery. This one's pretty big. I don't want to use this one. This one is too big. And I mean, if I was going to place it, I could place it right here where that pumpkin is instead. But this is too big to be placed out here. I like for my designs when I'm using well, when I'm any design, I like it to taper off over here. So I need one about this size over here. So let me run behind my magic wall. I've got them right behind here. I just need one, or I'm going to grab a bush of them, but I just need one or two. Oh heck, they're right here. And I like this bush because it has, it has the larger heads and then it has the smaller heads too. But I need small. Even the small ones are pretty large though. Okay. All right, and what I was thinking, I need one about right here. One like that and one like that. Okay, I'm going to turn that toward me and kind of look here. Like I need one here. Get another small one. These sunflowers are from Select Artificial. I get a bunch of them every year. I just love them. They're just really warm looking. This is the way I do it. I just try it on for size, get it a arrangement that I like. I think I like that. I took that one out of there. I don't want a big bulk of things up here. I want to end the wreath about here. It's okay to have a few trails there, but I'm gonna go right here. All right, so start gluing things in. That just a little bit shorter. I don't want it down flush with the wreath, but I do want it a little bit shorter than what I had it. The way I had it, you weren't going to be able to see that pumpkin very well. I'm just trimming off these things, the little nubs here, where those leaves were, because we don't need the greenery. And then I'm going to go right back here. I don't know about that leaf. I like that. Of course, we're going to have to come in here and fill in with some greenery, but I like that placement. Now let's go down here. Okay. And you know, one of the best tips somebody ever gave me years ago, I used to get things in the perfect place, so to speak, and then I would take them out to glue them back in, and I couldn't remember where I put them. So somebody told me one time, you take that out, just take a floral pick, or this is like the end of one of these stems here, and just stick it right down in there, and then you'll know exactly where to go back. I thought that was genius. It just really saved me a lot of heartache. But nowadays, most times I'm okay with it. There's times though. Want that more upward. Okay. I feel like I'm wearing glue. Everybody doing okay? Hey Patty and Rosemarie. All right, let's go down here. want to look at this a little better. I'm not sure I like that one. I don't. It's just what we were talking about, going, you know, having the great big, and I did. I grabbed a large one instead of one of the smaller ones. I don't want to finish with a large, something large down here. I need a small one. And I always think about, you know, when you're driving a car and all of a sudden you come to a screeching halt. That's what I think about whenever I, you know, instead of a nice slow ease into the stoplight. That's what I think about whenever I see something bigger down here than right at your transition zone. You want your larger things toward the transition zone. Okay. All right. That's what we have so far. You guys good? Okay, I like it. Like it, like it. All right, now we just need to fill in with a little bit of greenery. I've got some other goodies, but I don't think we need it. I like to use a couple of different types of greenery. However, this spray has a lot of green in it too, so I don't feel compelled that we're going to need to. I mean, we've got a lot of leaves here. The other green that I have, in case we need to fill in some places here, it's a little bit more compact to this boxwood. I don't think we're going to need it though. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, I like the longer blade of the grass rather than this short compact thing. So. Has a light feel for fall. Good. That's what I like. That's what I like. All right, so I'm just going to go around and just kind of fill in holes now. If we need something a little bit more compact, we can always use that boxwood. Okay. We have some space here. I do want to make a space. I don't want these pumpkins like right next to each other, like touching, I mean. So let's put I'm going to put a little grass between those. Oops. I have to put a pick on this. It wouldn't go in there without bending. Okay. So I just made a separation there, if you can see, in between those pumpkins. I don't want them right next to each other. I wanted to make just a little bit of break. All right, now where do we need some more? We need some up here. And when you're putting the stems in, you want to be sure you feel just a little bit of resistance. That means the stem's good and secure in there. You don't want it just to go in there real easy, real lightly. I'm going to bring some down here behind the bow now. And that's going to serve two purposes. Number one, it's going to make it look better. Number two, it's going to help hold that bow forward where we want it. I keep on grabbing it myself. I've got those. I've got glue strings on my arms. They won't leave me alone. All right, I put this one kind of pointing up. I'm going to bring one down now because again, right here at the transition. Let's go underneath of the bow. Have to grab another one. Did I tell you I love this grass? I've sold some for the, we use it a lot in our group, and I tell you, I list it and it gets gobbled up. I ordered a lot for spring, but I think it's sold out right now. And I understand why, because it's so good. It comes in a longer one too, longer blade. All right, I'm gonna go right underneath here. Even if you can't see it, you still want to fill in underneath of your bow. Again, for those two purposes I just told you. All right, I'm gonna stand in front here and kind of look. All right, I'm happy with what we have up here. So now I'm going to work on down here, just again filling in spaces. I'm going to come in here just like we did with the pumpkin. With these two, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a division between these two florals. Okay. Try and get all the petals going the right direction. Okay. All right, and bring some up here in behind the pumpkin. Okay, let's see. Maybe one more piece over here. And again, all I'm doing, I'm just filling holes. Okay. All right, I love this. And we didn't use any of those peonies. We used the pumpkins. I hadn't even thought about those until a while ago. Now, should I use my secret? Let me finish up this bow, and I might add one more thing. It's a surprise. Let me get my bow going the way I want it first. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dovetail these ribbons. Let's see. Like I said, I just like to leave this to the very last most times, just so I get a kind of a feel for the design. So as you can tell, I kind of, create as I go. I don't really know what we're going to end up with. And I could have real easily come on here and just did something we've already, I've already made, but I didn't. Like I said, that way you don't get to benefit from me problem solving, if that makes sense. And that's what we do in our group. I'm just going to cut this at an angle because I don't want it to fray. And I'm making each one of them a little bit different length than the one in front of it. Maybe a little bit longer. Kind of tapering it back. And if you wanted to, you could put some more, you could put some tails over here, maybe thread some ribbon. I didn't want to do that. I wanted these gorgeous, all this gorgeousness right here, the florals and the berries and the gourds and that kind of thing. I wanted those to be the star of the show. All right, let me show you it might be a harebrained idea, but I saw it and kind of thought about it. I thought maybe. What do you think? I saw these at Hobby Lobby the other day and I fell in love with them. What do you think? What do you guys think? Feathers, yay or nay? I was thinking about just bringing them right out on either side of the, where's my other one? I was just thinking, let's see, this one's bigger than that one, but I was thinking on either side of the bow. I don't like them down there. Maybe just I'm playing here. We could do that. Wish I had one more. Oh, I do. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? Did I lose my comments? They seem dark. Deborah loves them. Kelly says yes. Maybe. Oops. Megan says no. I think the yeses are winning. I kind of like it. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait because with feathers, like I told you earlier, anything we do, we mess it up, we can fix it, except if you're working with feathers. Feathers are unforgiving, I have to say. Oh, everybody likes them. Well, most everybody. I think that the feathers win, but I'm going to hold off on them. But when you see this picture posted, just know they might end up with they may have the feathers. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I do think I need one little more piece of grass right here. Let me trim off one more. Now I've become to love, I had to do a wreath back years ago with peacock feathers. It was back when I was still doing custom orders, and I agreed to it. Oh, never ever again. That thing took me forever to do because you get, I mean, you can imagine trying to glue these in, and back then we didn't have the stems like this. Oh my gosh, it was awful. Awful. She loved it though. All right, let me fix my bow back. All right, well, I'm gonna wait on that. And I think we're done. Unless I put a leaf or two right here. I think I will. Hang on, I'm not done. Not quite done. I like to put leaves within my bow or grass or greenery, anything, just to kind of incorporate the bow into the design. That's what I'm doing right here. Oh, I forgot that about there. Sneak that right in there. Now when you do this, you need to make sure that your bow is exactly the way you want it, because you're not going to be able to fix anything. It's going to stay there. All right, maybe one more. All right, guys, I think we're done. You see it? Oh, thank you, Marlene. I can't see. I'm across the room here. Thank you guys so much. And like I said, it wasn't what I was going to do earlier. I just changed my mind right when I was walking down the stairs here. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you guys so much. And as I said, you know, the supply list that I gave to the email list, and if you want a supply list, just give me a message, okay? Either email me or give me a message here in the comment. But I will send you that finalized. Like I said, it's not the one. I put a preliminary supply list earlier to my email group, but I did not know what we were going to be using. So, okay. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, guys. All right. Well, like I said, you know, our Wreath group is open this week, and once it closes, it's just going to be a couple more days. Once it closes, I'm not going to have it open again until next year. So that way we can focus on, you know, Christmas and fall is going to be hot and heavy in the group. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea on how our tutorials run. You know, you always get a supply list, and I try to talk through so you know the why, and not just, you know, go do this, do this, do this. I want to tell you why we do this. And that way you'll be able to develop your own style, your own designs from scratch. So, and like I said, you know, you come in with the best laid plans and it might change, right? So, oh, thank you, Claudia. I didn't even see you there. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. Would like the supply list? Yeah, just send me a message. Actually, Kelly, you're on my email list. You should get one. You should have one, but I will update it. You got the one that I was planning on doing. This is not it. Okay. All right. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions about our group? It's a recurring monthly group. We do every Monday you get a formal, edited, downloadable tutorial, and then twice a month we do, well, at least twice a month we do what I call a freestyle live, where, you know, a lot of times I'll ask everybody in the group, what do you want to see this week, kind of thing, and it's a live video. And then we have question and answer session once a month, and then there's always questions flowing every single day. We're in there answering questions, so but the Q&A is a little bit more formal. And then what else do we have? Wreath critiques. I'll critique your Etsy shop if you want me to. And on the wreath critiques, I got to tell you guys that's in the group. Oh, thank you, Claudia. I got a new thing where we're going to be able to do the wreath critiques live. I just got to figure out the software now. So, but I think that's going to be real fun. Yeah, and Donna says Tuesday is bows. We do bows every Tuesday. So, okay. Anybody have any questions? I'm going to look through here and see if I missed anything. But like I said, it's going to be open. I said Friday, I don't know. I'm going to close it. It'll be closed for sure by Sunday. I don't know if I'll leave it open over the weekend or not. But like I said, once it closed, I'm not going to open it anymore until next year. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Hey, Julie. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. Oh, and she said you're in the camp for no feathers. I know. I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, I love it the way it is. I'm kind of on the fence. Maybe I'll do another one and add feathers to that one. I don't know. Oh, Nancy, you're just getting here. Oh, we're just finishing up. Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions, but like I said, if you want the supply list, be sure and get a hold of me. Email is a lot more reliable. On my webpage at adorabledecodecor.com, my email's on there. but it's just Terry Smith at adorabledecodecor.com. But just email's more reliable. Sometimes I don't get instant messages from Facebook. I don't get them for a couple of days. So, but I'll update that supply list and get it to you. I'll be happy to. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. This is fun. I always feel like I'm having to kind of hold back on my lives because I'm like, I got to save things for the for my group. I don't want, I want them to feel special. So sometimes I feel like I'm holding back on the Facebook Lives. This is more me. So thank you, Claudia. Thank you. So you guys have a great rest of your night. And I will be live again tomorrow on my on this page. I don't know what we'll make. We haven't made any arrangements for a few days. We might do that or a centerpiece or something. So, okay. All right. Have a great rest of your night, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.